Hello Gambia, your television experience is about to be transformed to the next level. Enjoy amazing features with the new DTT decoder by XCAF. Watch television in high definition and excellent sound quality. Watch Gambian channels such as GRTS, QTV, Star TV, Paradise TV and MTA with one decoder, all for free. That's not all. For a monthly subscription of $510, you get 60 international channels from your favorite football leagues, news, African movies, telenovelas, cartoons and much more. Get the decoder for $2,040, which comes with free installation, 24/7 customer and technical support all year round, and 1 month free subscription for only $510 thereafter. Get the decoder at XCAF Gambia, located at Hendon Court Building, former Dream Park, Senegambia, or through approved dealers. For more info, call 446-1060 or 446-1061. The world is at your fingertips with the XCAF DTD decoder.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Gunyu online viewers, welcome to another edition of COVID-19 Daily Update. Today, my topic is COVID-19 aerosol transmission and its implication for controlling the pandemics. We are getting numbed to this pandemic, which is a dangerous thing to do, but that's human nature. Even situation is as dangerous as what as time goes on, we become accustomed to it and we become numb to it. But as far as this pandemic is concerned, that's a very, very dangerous thing to do. We've seen figures increasing on daily basis. Today, America crossed another milestone. 3 million Americans are now infected with COVID-19. And even though the politicians are trying to push the agenda to make people numb actually to this virus, so they can push their agenda, they can continue with their campaigns and all that. And we've seen similar attitudes across South America, Brazil in particular, where the president called it a little flu, and he is now tested positive. So he is going to recover, and once he recovered, he might use his experience to actually play down the dangers with these pandemics, which is quite dangerous, because I know as a president, he will have the best possible care he's going to get, compared to people with underlying conditions and who are economically challenged. So that's the sad situation about his testing positive. So as usual, I'm going to start with statistics of this COVID-19. Um, COVID-19, as you are all aware, announced its arrival to the world in December 2019. It is originated from China, Wuhan province, and it was traced. The route was traced to a wet market in Wuhan, and at some point, bat is important in the transmission, but from which animal the virus actually jumped to human is still uncertain. But so far, 12,054,244 people got infected. And also, it's worth noting that at the beginning of this pandemic, it takes 3 months for us to have the first 1 million people infected. But for the past 2 weeks, it takes only a week for us to have the between the 9 and the 10 million, and now that is reduced to like 5 days. We have 1 million people infected. That's a rate that should worry everybody. So far, 548,957 dead, and 6,984,400 people recovered from the virus. And right now, the active cases stands at 4,520,887, and out of that, 4,462,585 cases are in mild conditions. And the mild condition patients include asymptomatic patients. These are the group that are not showing any sign of symptoms. They might feel unwell. The only way they are discovered to be infected with COVID-19 is by testing them. And why would you go and test people? Is these are the people they come in contact with sick people who are ill with COVID-19. What they will do contact tracing. That is the people you come in contact with. And for developed world, this contact tracing now, it depends on latest technology. They have mobile apps that will alert you if you come in contact with somebody who is actually COVID-19 positive. Unfortunately, for resources limited settings like the Gambia and other parts of Africa, we still have to rely on the interview information extracted from the patients. Right now, 58,000 302 people are seriously ill with COVID-19, and the serious ill are the ones that need hospitalization. And majority of these who need hospitalization will also need intensive care support. Up to now, there is no definite cure for COVID-19, but it's been properly managed in developed countries with some kind of medication, like the Remdesivir viral drug, which was initially used for HIV virus, been effective, and also hydrochloroquine. Even though the Americans have taken it from their trials, they think the side effects, far outweigh the benefit it's given. But nonetheless, Donald Trump used it anyway as a prophylactic, and it seems maybe it's working. And the Brazilian president also say he already took 2 doses of it. But on his case, it might not be effective because he's already developed the virus. So the daily updates, I'm going to give you the top 10 most affected countries. So far, 215 countries are affected with COVID-19, and 2 international conveyances. These are cruise ships and also military ships. Past 24 hours, 111,904 people were tested positive across the world, and out of that, 3,279 dead. USA alone registered 23,397 new cases and 333 dead. And today, US marked another unwelcome milestone. Currently, 3 million Americans, 3 million, in fact, the exact figures, 3,120,481 Americans COVID-19 positives. You go to Brazil. Brazil recorded 9,083 new cases past 24 hours and 245 deaths. India recorded 24,725 new cases and 491 deaths. And Russia recorded 6,562 new cases, 173 deaths. And Chile recorded 2,064 new cases and 139 dead. Spain, which is definitely on top of this virus, I think most European countries are, recorded 383 new cases, 4 dead. UK recorded 630 new cases, 126 dead, and Mexico, another epicenter in South America, recorded 6,258 and 895 dead. Iran, which is experiencing the second wave, registered 2,691 new cases, 153. They actually did well, but unfortunately, once they open places, the numbers start going up again. Pakistan recorded 2,980 new cases and 83 dead, and Saudi Arabia is now the top 10, 13 countries, even though they also open in places. They registered 3,036 new cases and 42 dead, and this is the reason that's why we are having no Hajj for internationals. Only 1,000 people are going to perform the Hajj, and they're going to be locals who are tested and cleared of COVID-19. Right now, I'm going to give you the countries that are very, very close to the Gambia. As long as those numbers continue to increase, Gambia is not out of the woods. But even in the case of the Gambia, we've seen the numbers increasing exponentially past couple of weeks. In fact, past 2 weeks, we have more than 50% of our total cases. Past 24, we don't record any new number, but Gambian number stands at 61. Ivory Coast, which is leading in our part of the world, so far registered 11,194 cases. Past 24 hours alone, they recorded 948 new cases. Senegal recorded 110 new cases, and right now their number stands at 7,657. Guinea-Conakry recorded 61 new cases, 5,697 cases so far, and Mauritania also is not far off. Past 24 hours, they recorded 76 new cases, and so far they recorded 5,024 cases. Mali recorded 10 new cases past 24 hours, and their total number stands at 2,358. The Guinea-Bissau didn't record any new cases past 24 hours, but so far they recorded 1,790 cases. Sierra Leone recorded 25 new cases and 1,572 so far, and Burkina Faso 1,003 cases. So that takes me to my today's topic, that is WHO now confirmed that definitely COVID-19 can be transmitted aerosolly through aerosol transmission, which pose a lot of new challenges, because as you know, the airline industry is struggling and they're trying to open. So this aerosol transmission is going to bring a lot of challenges, especially the travel industry, because airlines, we know, is a confined and enclosed system that if somebody should sneeze or even talk without a proper mask, they can spread the virus, and it can be hanging in the air, in the aeroplane, and it can affect. And also in our trains and also public transports, you know, the chances of catching the virus also increase exponentially. So I will later describe what is meant by aerosol transmissions. But COVID-19 just add to the long list of viruses and bacteria that can be transmitted through aerosol, and among those is TB bacteria. So the WHO, the World Health Organization, has acknowledged that there is an emerging evidence that the virus can be spread by tiny particles suspended in the air, Like if I am talking, if I happen to be positive, there will be virus hanging in there all the time. So initially, this was not, there was no evidence to support this, even though there was a likely chance, we can only speculate, but now there are proper scientific research into this area, which established beyond reasonable doubt that definitely this virus can be transferred through air, droplets in air. So the airborne transmission could not be ruled out in crowded, closely, or poorly ventilated settings, and official says. So if the evidence, which is already confirmed, it may affect guidelines for indoor spaces. For example, how we travel, all these are going to be affected. In fact, airline industry may never recover until we have a vaccination whereby people can show they are vaccinated, or they can show that they've had the virus also, but they recovered. And that, how do we know that? Is through immunological tests, which are also increasingly becoming available. And not only the immunological test, but there is an immunological therapy also, which is going in the final trial in the US. This will also help a lot in overcoming these dangerous pandemics. So an open letter from more than 200 scientists had accused the WHO of undermining the possibility of airborne transmissions. This is one reason Donald Trump accused WHO of not doing their work well. But WHO is the highest authority as far as our healthcare is concerned. So they cannot just base their reasoning or advice on pure speculation. They have to wait for scientific evidences. The politicians have to understand that. So sometimes the evidence will be there, but WHO have to be so, like they have to have it from a couple of sources. So once politicians, they hear that, okay, this particular research group said this is possible, they jump on it and they want WHO to take decision on that. It doesn't work like that. That's not science. So WHO has so far said the virus is transmitted through droplets when people cough or sneeze. That is confirmed. And they wanted to acknowledge the evidence. Jose Jimenez, a chemist at the University of Colorado, who signed the paper, told the Reuters news agency. So this is definitely not an attack on WHO, but it's a scientific debate. But we felt the need to go public because they were refusing to hear the evidence after many conversations with them. So it's like you don't know what's, you cannot speculate on these things, but the scientists also, the politicians also are putting their money where their mouth is. They're sponsoring this scientific research, so they come with something that will make them to go back to the normal, to open the economy, which they cannot do without scientific proofs. So if those results come out and the WHO is still dilly-dallying, that's where the frustration comes. But I think America is wrong 100% by cutting financial support to the WHO. So in healthcare settings, if aerosol transmission forces erect, then we understand healthcare workers should really be wearing the best possible preventive equipment, because these clothes, these clothing most people are wearing are only effective to some extent, maybe in open area. But if you go in an enclosed system, they will absolutely useless because the virus is too small. And if you have a high concentration of a virus in a closed setting, these clothes, face masks might not be suitable. So, yeah, and actually the World Health Organization said that one of the reasons they were not keen to talk about aerosol transmission of COVID-19 is because there is not a sufficient number of these kind of specialty masks for many parts of the world, he said. So now they have to, because there is mounting evidence that, yeah, definitely people can be transmitted through aerosol. So now WHO are in a position they cannot continue to suppress this information, because that makes them liable for of being sued by people who got it because of the misinformation coming from WHO. So initially they said, well, if the the evidence is not strong enough, and also on the other side, not many people have this medical standard face mask that if they come with this advice that definitely aerosol transmission is possible, it might cause a lot of panic because people don't have the actual standard face mask to prevent themselves. So in the community, if we are thinking about aerosol transmission being particular, then we need to think about how to prevent larger super spreading events, larger outbreak, and those occur in indoor environment with poor ventilations and with crowding and with prolonged close contacts. So the difference between droplets and airborne transmissions, droplet transmission can be caused by cough and sneezes and can spread droplet of saliva and mucus. And these droplets are not more than 5 microns. Airborne transmission, that's tiny particles possibly produced by talking and suspension in air for a larger travel further. So these are smaller, also less than 5 microns, and droplets. For example, human air is like, if I say 5 micron, what do 5 micron means? Human air, our hair, the thickness is about 60 to 120 microns. So if this droplet 5 microns is like 12 to 20 times smaller than the thickness of hair. That's how small they are. So the WHO official have cautioned the evidence is preliminary and require further assessment. That was before, but now a few days ago they confirmed this. Yeah, definitely aerosol transmission is possible. So the WHO technical lead for infection prevention and control said that evidence emerging of airborne transmission of the coronavirus in crowded, closely, and poorly ventilated setting have been described and cannot be ruled out. That is a week or so ago or further down, but now it is confirmed. Yes, you can get COVID-19 through aerosols. So a shifting position. For months, WHO has insisted that COVID-19 is transmitted via droplet emerging when people cough or sneeze. Droplets that do not linger in air but fall onto the surface. That's why hand washing had been identified as a key prevention measures. So what this aerosol transmission, the implication also is that now only hand washing and also applying hand sanitizers might not be enough, and even social distancing might be enough, because somebody can talk here or sneeze here, and you have this virus suspended in here for 5 to 8 hours. So you can come and pass there and just got into your system. So, but 239 scientists from 32 countries don't agree. They say there is also some evidence to suggest the virus can also be traveled in the air through much thinner particles that float around for hours after people talk or breathe out. And today, WHO admitted there was evidence to suggest this was possible in specific settings such as enclosed and crowded spaces. Like I said, the implication of this is going to be profound on airline and also travel industry, because we know the planes are crowded and the airflow within the aeroplanes is very, very poor. So that evidence will have to be thoroughly evaluated when it is confirmed. The advice on how to prevent the virus spread may have to change and could lead to more widespread use of masks and more rigorous distancing, and especially in bus, restaurants, and open public transports. So not only the aeroplane, but also the pubs. We have seen pubs open in England last week. But again, they were, some in fact voluntarily closed when some of their customers call in to say that they actually are positive after visiting those particular pubs. Those particular pubs. So this is a virus. As I said last week, the situation still with this virus is very fluid. There's a lot more still we don't understand. Every day there is a new story coming up. There are a lot of research going into it, which is good thing, but is informing us on the pathology and mode of transmission of the virus. But we still have to be extremely careful, and the politicians have to listen to the scientists. So the transmission of COVID-19 may take place by a fine droplet emitted by infected people with no symptoms when they speak or breathe without necessarily coughing or sneezing. I've seen this video also taking the rounds in the social media, especially WhatsApp, that WHO said, well, asymptomatic patients can transmit. No, not in far from it. The guy was not saying that. That is established. Even my lab, we established beyond reasonable doubt that actually asymptomatic patient can transmit this virus. So the evidence summary for the next 3 minutes, this was a descriptive report of COVID-19 transmission, suggestive of aerosol transmission, backed by the evidence from laboratory studies and parallel with other viral respiratory diseases. So COVID-19 can remain active in aerosol for at least 3 hours. And some are saying up to 5 hours, and some are saying up to 8 hours. Although these concentration decreases and aerosol are likely affected by other environmental features that are not assessed. So what do they do? The authors examine other reports of transmission from asymptomatic cases, and they identify evidence suggests that fine droplets smaller than 5 microns emitted during breathing, talking, or even singing could generate a suspension transmit agents. So finer droplet being heavier remain suspended for air, while larger and heavier droplet drop to the ground. So for example, if I talk like this, heavier droplet will go onto my TV, keyboards, and also on the table. But there are 5 finer droplets which are very, very small, 5 microns. And to give you an example, the thickness of the hair is about 12 to 120 microns. So that's like 5 to 20 micron. That's how small these droplets can be, like 12 to 20 times smaller than hair thickness. So if you try to expect the droplet that are smaller, very, very small, can remain in air for 3 minutes, for 3 hours, sorry, or 5 hours, in fact, at some extreme estimates. So is a difficult situation. I don't know how you're going to get out of this. So they also look at the experimental and historical evidence for droplet generation, transmission, and survival of respiratory viruses. These include SARS-CoV-1 and SARS-CoV-2. Like the SARS-CoV-2 we are experiencing, but in 2003, the SARS-CoV-1 emerged in South Korea and China, which also led to an pandemic, but nowhere near what we are experiencing now. So these are not just mere speculation. These are based on medical evidences which are thoroughly researched before WHO decided, you know what, we need to change our position on this. So aerosol transmission is definitely possible. So the aerosol can remain suspended for hours, and carry long distance and with thermal currents of elevator shafts and staircases. So the fine droplets can also be inhaled deeper into the human airways, finding better conditions for viral replications. And finally, what else should we consider? There is a limited data to date that have recovered aerosolized, that are recorded aerosolized SARS virus particles that remain suspended in air. Further data collection require assessment under different conditions of temperature and humidity, and these should be low cost and result in short times. So the evidence from this review need replicating, updating, and incorporating into system review with a predefined protocol and clear search and inclusion strategy. Already there are evidences, but these evidences also we still need to expand and understand how this aerosol actually infect. And to conclude, there was a video taking the rounds also, I share it from BBC, where they went to Nigeria, their treatment center, and after, outside the treatment center, they were interviewing the locals. They don't even believe that this virus is in Nigeria. They say the COVID-19 is not in Nigeria. And one of the speakers, in fact, said he had to see up to 30 people died on the street before he believed it. So this is not only confined to Africans. This is a worldwide thing. We've seen even politicians like the Brazilian presidents and also Donald Trump. They're trying to trivialize actually the impact of this virus. Initially, they start comparing with the statistic of flu, that the number of people who died of flu every year compared to this virus, but now this virus we've seen is surpassed all that. And the other challenge we are facing, this virus now is going into the cold season, that is the flu epidemic time. The impact of these two, nobody knows. This is something also the world is very, very worried about, and we have to be very worried because the symptoms are similar and they are all respiratory tract viruses. If they synergize, that means the impact of this and this additive, or that could spell a lot of disaster for people. So finally, to conclude, I advise you to continue to be careful, and also anywhere you go, if you're going outside your house, you should wear face masks. Any kind of mask will do for now, but I know since this aerosolized route of transmission is confirmed, these face masks also are going to be upgraded to medical grade, and these are going to come with cost. So in resources limited settings like the Gambia and the attitude of the people, these pose a real challenge for all of us. So thank you all for your time. We appreciate your time to come and join the conversations, and I advise you, I ask of you to please share these videos so it can get to as many people as you can. So just to summarize, that another route of transmission of COVID-19 has been announced since yesterday, that COVID-19 can actually be suspended in air for 3 to 5 hours. In fact, there are other reports which say up to 8 hours. So that make even physical distancing almost redundant. But that doesn't mean physical distancing will not help. That doesn't not mean regular hand washing will not help. Yes, this will help, but there is another way we can get this virus. So it makes things more complicated. But we should always still always wash our hands with plenty of soap and up to 20 seconds. And also, if we don't have soap, we can use alcohol-based hand rub. And also, we should always observe physical distancing when we are in crowded place. And if you are going to go out, please take that mask and put it on. You might prevent yourself and other people. So thank you all for your time. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow again, I have Ben Suare. We will be reviewing the burning issues of this past week. There are a lot of talking points, and we've seen our parliamentarians debating whether the councillors or the chairmen or the mayors should also enjoy the same kind of protection the parliamentarian arrange for themselves. That means if you are sacked from your party, if you are expelled from your party, you can still retain your parliamentary position. So these are some of the points, and also there are a lot of environmental challenges. We have seen these cash mining company which try to mine in Brufut, which also cause a lot of there are a lot of things to talk about. So Ben Suare, as you know, is a specialist about Gambian issues. He will be here at the same time tomorrow. That is 7 p.m. UK time, 6 p.m. GMT, and 2 p.m. Eastern time. Thank you all once again, and please share the video. Allah barak.
Falindir balle bina sotola alka television jube nyameng Escaf Gambia ye DTT decoder kutamal lenati dameng alse GRTS QTV Star TV Paradise TV ani MTA base soto min na natalol anin kuma kangol be senearing lew andung ite fenjola DTT decoder akesan dalasi wuli fula ani dalasi tanani doronga andung ibe sola karikilina ye bantala bankol la channel jama jube andung ite kodi wo kodi jola ni la fita ka continue ka min siata ye channel tan woro wala jube katake ye subscribe wolom kari wo kari ibe dalasi keme lulu ani dalasi tan donne jola ise football league channelol be jube news african movies telenovela film dima balu musical ani cartoon pour dindingol alta DTT decoder sang escaf la showroom mimbe Senegambia wotumo dream park be dame warang ila agentol minul be banko kan ali kumandi 446 1060 446 1061.
Gunjur Fitness Center Body Max.
See fire for body, and if you follow me go now, enjoyment go kill 'em. Baby girl, you bad, girl the way you whine, I demand over you, girl. I demand over you, girl. Say you are my woman, my superwoman. I demand over you, girl. I demand over you, girl. See the wine, I see fire for body, and if you follow me go now, enjoyment go kill 'em.
Moro
Ibanya
mbijando bakandro
ko ngalla janna kibaro moy kalka sola bagaso wafu
e ka fontelle ko sola enterprise fo fendi nabe dendi sola la fannala la sola la bundal ndella ko do ko ke mole janka sola joran kendo natala dum min nata na ko fanandiya birin gambia jam fo gambia e bantala nga bagasol samba be ton ka do ku kendo be ke mo be ni nga do ko ke momo ndi en ka sanji kilin garantie dilale nyin kama ko la do ko lanno so waran ni tema
bagasi falle
bagaso min bijay fofe nabe dendi sola la bundala la sola la fannala a bagaso sifa be bijay lightning and pumping system ndella fanan ko ke mole nimbe dendi na ko ni dandan ni kordal ka diodi alla ni ka lampo fanan sika ka diala wo pumping wolbe dendi gadi no ni ku kotal ni la ji ko ni la fanga bela lightning wala dimbani ku kotal danno mu sola enterprise tin ko la kadi
famo sola
fofe be dendi sola la hajo la janne be loro
wato tenta bul bagasol tan
adum fana be ku fula la leje bunda fula fana be mbulle fan ka bonan dami anin dula ba fula safonya America ni Europe na fan ka bana wolta dum doron no moto min ka fenken dol na te sola la bagasol kana te nyim banko kanya
abanta bagasol tan
ngata.
For more information, call 7171-998. 7171-998. Gunjur Fitness Center Body Max.
Even